Kyle spent a lot of time on Oasis of the Seas. Now, you did what's called contracts, and what that means is just a stint on board the ship. You did what? A 9-month, an 8-month, and a 5-month stint?
I was about 9.5, 5.5, and 8 months on board.
Okay. So you've spent close to 2 years on board Oasis of the Seas.
I sure did.
Now, I don't know if you've heard about this, but CJ and Debbie Ray Sail Away 2015 happens this month, the 19th.
Which I'm super jealous about because I really want to go back and visit my home, really. She was like a home for a while.
Well, for just a small amount of money, I can hook you up. Travel Machine, 981-7870.
Define small amount of money.
Okay, so no, what we wanted to do, because there's so many people coming with us on the CJ and Debbie Ray Sail Away, and by the way, this is only the second time we've ever done an interview on the Polyester Power Hour. But we wanted a long holiday weekend and stuff, and going into the weekend, folks are getting excited about the cruise, and they'll be shopping for new clothes for the cruise this weekend and stuff. So we wanted to get you in because there's always this ship is so huge. We were talking the other night and you said don't try to see it all because you won't.
Not at all. It would take a good 2 weeks to kind of experience everything. So I've always recommended the ship for experienced cruisers, people who have been on cruises many times, so that way you don't do typical cruise activities like bingo or some of the trivias, karaoke, as fun and exciting and awesome as they can be when you're on a ship. There's so many other possibilities and activities and venues to appreciate and to enjoy.
So you suggest we plan what we want to do prior to boarding, right? Yes, no?
For the most part. There's going to be some things that you're going to want to plan, like your shows, because the ship holds about 6,200 people at max capacity.
But you hardly ever see anybody.
Exactly. But for the shows, our theaters can't hold that many people. So they do you book reservations. You don't get tickets. You just book a reservation under your SeaPass card. And so you do that on embarkation day. The day you get on the ship, go find where they're doing the box office. It's usually in Studio B, which is the ice rink for where the ice show is. And you can book your shows that way. You're not held to it. You're not paying any fees for it. But definitely reserve a spot. There's also always a standby line for shows. So if you don't have a reservation, but you find that you want to see the show that evening, you're welcome to stand in the standby line. And 10 minutes before the show, they let anybody without reservations into the venue. So that's also for you guys, if you have a reservation for shows, to make sure you're there prior to 15 minutes before the show. So that way you have choice seating.
What are the don't miss shows?
Yeah.
Not at all. The shows are fantastic. Actually, they have Cats the Musical. I know some people aren't big musical fans, but it's beautiful. There is an intermission for that show. They do the full Broadway production. The other production show in the theater is Come Fly With Me, which features acrobats, aerialists, and 4 singers, which I was a part of back in the day.
You all did you also did the aquatic diving thing.
Exactly. Oasis of Dreams has acrobats, synchronized swimmers, divers, and high divers. There's a 17-meter high dive that happens.
Okay, I have a question about that.
Yeah.
When you're diving from way, way, way up there on a moving vessel, when you dive and the ship is moving, doesn't the target move too?
It does. Actually, the water kind of sloshes like a seesaw whenever it's rocking.
Yeah.
And so there's contingencies. If it's too rocky, we either cancel the show. So please be aware that there can be cancellations for safety purposes. Or the divers have the choice. If they don't feel safe making their dive, they're able to step away from the diving board, and the show will still continue, maybe with another diver or just with the next section of the show. But if you feel any kind of unsafe, there are rules and allowances that the performers have,
and plenty of training and practice, I'm sure.
Okay,
definitely.
All right, so wait, so the shows you said Cats is on board.
Cats is on board. Come Fly With Me is a production show. It kind of tells us a loose story about a character named Maxwell. He's the lead acrobat, about how he had a 9-to-5 job and then one day steps off his usual path to work and discovers there's so much more to life, and he becomes a different person by the end of the show. And then there's Oasis of Dreams, which is the aqua show in the Aqua Theater. The divers and synchronized swimmers do a comedy dive show called Splish Splash.
We should see that.
Definitely, but there's no reservations for that one. There's like 2 performances towards the end of the cruise. There's an ice show called Frozen in Time. It's different stories by Hans Christian Andersen. So it starts with the Snow Queen, the Red Shoes, the Little Mermaid, the Ugly Duckling, and a lot of people are going to think fairy tales or stories. They think it's more family oriented, but it's definitely for everybody. It is a fantastic show. The skaters are always phenomenal. there are people that have been junior world champions in ice skating and have competed at the Olympics in pairs. So you're not just getting people from the hockeyplex.
Okay, so you told me a few nights ago when we were on the phone, you said that one of your favorite things to do at night was Central Park.
Central Park's on deck 8 between the forward and aft elevators. It is completely open from deck 8 on up to the sky. There's living plants actually in there. That's also where you're going to find Vintage's Wine Bar and Tapas, which is delicious. Chop Steakhouse. There's also Giovanni's Table, which is more family-style dining, Italian cuisine. And then there's Park 150. It's a 6-course meal. All the portions are smaller, but jam-packed with flavor. And you can also do the wine tour, so every course comes with a different glass of wine. It is called Park 150, and my theory is because it's about $150 for your meal. However, if you're looking for an upscale evening with your significant other or your family, or just to have that kind of top dollar meal, that is definitely a good choice for you.
But all the meals are pretty much included in your cabin fee. But
yes, exactly.
This is like on top of that.
Yeah. Chops, Giovanni's Table, and then there's a solarium, which is kind of like the adult section of the ship, but they serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner there. It's more healthier fare. For dinner, all meals are 500 calories or less. That sounds amazing. Some of the dishes have the taste goods, all the taste good taken away.
Okay.
So it sounds delicious, but they take some of the good stuff out.
Okay.
But those restaurants in particular have what's called a cover charge, and so it may be $30 cover, but you can order however many appetizers, entrees, desserts. You kind of get a little more inclusion within there.
Okay, something real quick here. Something on board the ship, Oasis of the Seas, the largest ship. There's two, the Allure and Oasis. They're
and then we're getting a third one.
But these are the largest on the planet right now. Okay, so give me one thing on board. I mean, this is a man who spent almost 2 years on board this thing, so you know all the nooks and crannies. You've been underneath the thing.
I lived underneath it.
Yeah. So what's the one thing on this ship that we absolutely, positively cannot miss?
Oh, God.
See? I get that from everybody.
Lori said Central Park. It's just amazing.
And what's great about Central Park is sometimes at night they set up like a pianist or a violinist in the park, and they have lights everywhere, and they pipe in like sounds of crickets, so it sounds like you're outside or like naturally in a park. And then they'll have somebody playing music, and you can just sit out there. You can grab a glass of wine.
No, I can get that in Judy's. I'm going for something else where there's vodka.
Who's playing the piano in Judy's?
No, I got the crickets. Okay, all right. So real quick, Virgin Islands, we're going to St. Thomas, St. Martin, and Bahamas.
Yes.
Deb and I have been to the Bahamas, but we've never been to St. Thomas or St. Martin. I need you real quick to go St. Thomas. What can't we miss?
Oh, St. Thomas. Water Island is beautiful. You can take a ferry right there in the port. You can take a ferry taxi over to Water Island. There's also Emerald Beach and Megan's Bay, which are beautiful beaches. You can also take an open air taxi over to the other side to Haven Site, where there's more shopping, or you can take it downtown if you really want to do some heavy shopping for like Tanzanite or pearls, things like that. There's also a higher end section called the Yacht Haven towards Haven Site, and there's like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, things like that there. But if you're looking to just beach
Did you see Deb made a note?
She totally made a note. Also,
you said Gucci.
I've had some friends that have tried to do this before, but you can take a quick flight over to St. John from there. I'm not sure how that works out. That may be something to inquire about on board. But you can also
that's all in
St. Thomas.
St. Thomas. St. Martin.
And there's cell phone service in St. Thomas if you have AT&T.
Okay.
Ah, good to know.
St. Martin.
St. Martin. My favorite thing to do is walk from the ship. You can get a taxi, but I prefer to walk. There's a little sidewalk that'll take you straight into town. Right when you get in there's a place called Greenhouse. It is a restaurant where there's this beautiful lady that's always in like giant pearl necklaces, long sleeve, like chiffon shirts, skinny jeans, and boots. And she looks fabulous every day, and it's hot. And she's like walking around like it's nobody's business. Please be aware, in these islands, people function on island time. So if you think you're going to have like a quick lunch and get going, everything is very leisurely at their leisure. So that is my biggest qualm with that restaurant. But if you keep going further down, there's shopping on the main street. But if you go one street back, it's full of shopping. There's Tiffany's. There's all kinds of jewelry stores. There's a casino. If you keep going down on the beachfront, there's Holland House. It's got great food. A little pricier, nothing crazy, but delicious. And if you go down to the end of the beach, there's one pier where the water taxi will drop you off if you want a water taxi over. Buy a round trip. If you buy one way, you have to buy another way back. It's So just buy a round trip if you're going to take the water taxi over. If you pass it up, almost at a second pier that's just kind of extra if they're really busy, there's a place called Honky Tonk. It is like a...
Now we're talking.
It's a wooden deck with a bar. And the owner's name is Simon. He's this guy with like body art everywhere. And he's super cool. They've got some good dishes there. Burgers, pastas, sandwiches. And you can get a bucket of Desperados. Desperados are a tequila beer. They've got 2 versions. One's a little bit sweeter. But you can get a bucket, which is 6 of them, for $12.
Jeez.
And you can take it from Honky Tonk, go out on the beach and hang out right there and just kind of float back and forth between the restaurant and the beach. And
if y'all need me, that's where I'll be. Okay, so now the Bahamas. A lot of folks, I've oftentimes have talked about it on the air, and I said, you got to go. You have to, if you're in the Bahamas, you have to go to Atlantis. However, you have to be back on the ship for like 1:30.
Yeah. So the stop in the Bahamas isn't extremely long. You're there super early in the morning.
Yeah.
But then all aboard is right after, 1 o'clock, about
before
1:30, 2 o'clock. So if you're looking, there is some shopping there. And I keep saying shopping. Oasis class ships weren't necessarily made for you to get off. They're a city within itself. So the ports that they go to are for specific reasons, because you can get rare jewelry there or beach. Other than that, they're not necessarily made for sightseeing. So Atlantis is beautiful.
Yeah, but in the Bahamas, if you don't want to go to Atlantis, because I mean, if you pay to go to Atlantis, it's going to be like that.
Exactly.
Right. So and you got to be back on the ship.
It's a little bit of a travel, yeah. But if you're looking for like a good lunch, there's a place called Olives.
Okay.
It's kind of like a Mediterranean.
Now, can we walk from the ship to Olives?
Yes, you sure can.
Okay.
There's a lot that's right there outside of the port that you're able to access on foot.
Okay, and you said something about the maps. Stay on...
Oh, so if you're going to go shopping or you're going to adventure out around shopping areas, I suggest attending maybe the port and shopping talks, because they go through all these things, but you get a shopping map. Please follow that map. For instance, there was a couple that bought this really beautiful piece of jewelry, and they were super excited, and they showed the port and shopping guide. They were like, look what we got. It was a diamond, we paid this price, and they were like, that's a wonderful price for a diamond. However, what you bought was glass, because where they went was not a sanctioned store. But not only that, it just gets dangerous because we don't have relationships with certain stores or certain areas.
Yeah.
So if you kind of venture off the beaten path, it can get dangerous in certain areas. I mean, just like any city.
Exactly.
Okay, and your work, you don't work on Oasis now. You work for...
I work for Amy Jones. We do public relations and advertising.
Okay, please tell Amy we said hello.
I sure will.
If you don't, I'm coming get you. Tell her, would you? Is she listening right now?
I don't even know.
Okay.
We're so busy. When I tell you we're busy right now, we're ridiculously busy.
And your mom's listening?
So my mom and all the ladies at LHC are blasting this extremely loudly right now in their office. And I'm going to tell you one thing. 2 people that are super jealous that I'm here right now are my brother. He says, "What's up?" And my dad. But what's great is I can't be mad at my dad for being jealous, because his birthday's on Monday. So happy birthday, Dad.
And your dad's name is?
Ricky Lavergne.
And your brother is?
Cade.
All right. Thank you for being
and
here,
Jenny,
Kyle.
I haven't said your name either, Mom, but hi.
I love your mother. I love your family. All of them. All right. Thanks for being here, really.
And I'm going to tell you guys just a few rules. Wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands.
On board the ship?
There are Purell stations everywhere.
Do they play that song on the TV on this ship?
Oh,
the wash your hands
They
song?
might. They might. They started doing it on a lot of ships. But I will tell you guys, so something that's really cool. You guys have all been through boat drill on the first day. Yes, you have to attend. Yes, it's mandatory. But I always tell people it's like an airplane. You kind of have to go through the safety procedures. However, here, all of the stations except for one are located inside the ship.
Nice.
All of your boats are located right outside from where you're going to be, and they show a video. So it's like those really fancy planes with the TV screens, and you get to watch the video before. You get to watch a video about all the safety, so you don't have somebody yelling at you with a megaphone. And you do not have life vests in your cabins. We have lockers, so when you go to your emergency station, the lockers are there, and they are able to pass them out to you in the case of an emergency. So you don't have to stand outside with a life vest, sweating, and just standing there. It's fantastic. I just wanted to clarify that, because I know a lot of you guys have cruised on like Carnival and different and
we've been on Royal Caribbean, but not this one.
But this is something that has definitely stepped up the game.
We went to tour it, but we didn't. We haven't traveled on it.
And you guys can attest, it is a city within itself.
It's unbelievable.
I don't want to say first day get acclimated, but you want to know where everything is. And I told CJ this the other day that I find it a whole lot easier to navigate. you don't have to go like up to this deck and across it and then down 2 flights to get to the next section.
Right.
There's neighborhoods, and that's how they refer to them as, is there's neighborhoods. And so a lot of things, if you know if it's a show, it's going to be an entertainment place. If it's the boardwalk, it's deck 6 aft. There's just those kinds of things. And then 2 of my really fun things to not miss is we have parades on the ship. There's 2 parades, one featuring the DreamWorks family. There's Shrek and Fiona and How to Train Your Dragon. So we do that on the promenade. And then also on the promenade is the Rise and Tide bar. It's like an elevator bar.
Yeah,
you can sit on it and ride it up. It's fantastic.
Thanks for being here, Kyle.
Thank you for
So
having
good to
me.
meet
right.
you.
Likewise.
Your dad's birthday is Monday?
Monday.
I know he likes Swoop.
Yes, he does.
We'll do that for him next. It is 9:37.